Hey guys, famous YouTuber, CallMeCarson here, over 30,230 subs on YouTube. Hey, how's it going? Anyways, guys, the other day I was sitting in my transportation class with my two pals, two best buds, and we were really bored. We had these straight edges, and we were using them to draw rockets and stuff. And I took one in one hand and took another triangle straight edge in my other hand, and I looked at them, and I looked into their eyes, and I said, I have triangles for hands, guys. I was born with a birth defect. I have triangles for hands. They called me Carson Trianglehands, and they look at me like I'm stupid or something. And I look back and I say, I have triangles for hands. They call me Carson Trianglehands, and then I go into detail about my days as a person with triangle hands. I go up to my boss and I say, boss, I have a lot of troubles with flipping these patties. I can't flip the patties very well with triangle hands. And my boss gets mad at me. He says, Carson, I don't understand. Because you have triangle hands, it should be easier for you. Because you can flip the patties better. And I say, no, because it's super hard to control the triangle hands, boss. You don't understand. You've never had triangle hands. And my boss looks at me and says, that's no excuse. You should know what you're doing because you were born with them. You were born with your triangle hands, Carson. You should master them. And I look at him and I have this stupid look on my face. I'm dumbfounded because he doesn't know the struggles I go through life with triangle hands. And I say, I'm sorry. I'm going as fast as I can. I'm doing my best with these triangle hands, boss. And my boss looks at me, looks into my eyes and says, I don't care. You do your job better. And I look at him and I say, okay, I'm quitting because obviously I just can't do it. I can't keep going with these triangle hand problems. I can't flip the patties as well as I should be able to with my triangle hands. So I look for more work elsewhere because I got these triangle hands and it's a very limited job space in general in America. And I decide, okay, what if I try a bricklaying job? Maybe because I don't have to flip patties, don't have to flip anything. It's just laying it down. The triangle hands might work better. So I go up to my new boss at my bricklaying job and I say, okay, I'm ready, coach. And he puts me in, and I got the triangle hands, and I got them in my hands, and I take a brick, and immediately my triangle hands just immediately breaks. I have no triangle on my hand. It's just a wrist. And I look at my boss and I say, I can't keep going. My triangle is off my hand, off of my right triangle hand. It's gone. What do I do, boss? And he says, you keep going. You signed up for this job. If you want the money from the job, you're gonna have to suck it up and deal with it, triangle hand boy. And I look over at the brick wall and I'm scared because what if I lose my other triangle hand? That's all I have in life is my triangle hands, boss. And if I lose my other one, what do? I just have wrists. I won't even have hands. I'll have zero hands instead of triangle hands. And so I quit that job and I go back to the burger flipping job and I look at my boss and I say, I'm gonna do my best with my one triangle hand. And it's miserable. I hate it. My boss is mad at me constantly. He's constantly telling me, Carson, you gotta do better. You're the worst I've ever seen do this job, and you should be the best at it. You've got a triangle hand. And I start thinking to myself, I'm super depressed at this time. Carson, what can I do with this triangle hand? And I'm just I can't find it out. And I start thinking, well, what are triangles good for? What can I do with this triangle I have for a hand? And then I think to myself, and I think, well, I've got a plan. I'm going to become a world famous cello player. And I get a cello, I grab it, and I start strumming it with my triangle hand. And it's fantastic. I'm the best cello player around because I hold the cello with my right arm, and then I get my triangle hand and I strum it. And it's not how you usually play a cello, but it works. And people know me all around as Carson Triangle Hand, and I'm really depressed because I'm just one. It's not plural. I'm not Carson Triangle Hands. So I leave. I leave the cello business. People are sad. My fans they hate me. They go to my trailer, my trailer with a star on it, and they go in and they chop my triangle hand off, and they fashion it so that they can use my triangle hand. But it's not the same for them, because they weren't born with the triangle hand, so they don't know how to play the cello like I could. And I look down at my wrists, my knobs I have for hands now because my triangles are gone, and I leave my trailer depressed, and I go to my birthplace, which was the birth defect hospital. and I go in and I say, I have knobs for hands now. I have no triangles left. Everything unique about me is gone, Doc. And the doc, who has square hands, looks at me and he says, well, I went through a similar problem once, Carson Trianglehands, and you see, what I did was I fashioned myself new square hands, and he gives me some pencils, and I say to the Doc, how do I use these pencils and draw myself a new design for triangle hands if I can't grab with these knobs? And he looks at me and he says, well, we have a real conundrum here, don't we? And he looks for something that I can use my knobs to make the design with, and he finds a whatchamacallit, one of those spoons. Sporks. He finds me a spork, and I think to myself, this is really dumb. Why would I use a spork for making a new design? And then I think to myself, and he's right. I use my mouth, and I make the design in a piece of food. So he grabs me an orange, and I use the spork. I spike the spork into the orange, and I make the triangle. And he says, well, that's quite the new triangle design, Carson Trianglehands. And he takes it, and then he puts the orange in his hand maker. He has a hand maker right next to his coffee maker on his shelf. Right next to his Keurig, and he puts the orange in, and poof, out come triangle hands. And I look down, and suddenly I have triangle hands again. And I look, and I go back to that burger flipping job, and that's how I became the world's best chef, who only does patty flipping. I'm the world's best chef, Carson Trianglehands. I'll see you guys later. I hope you enjoyed the story of Carson Trianglehands. I'll talk to you guys later. And my friends looked at me and they said, wow, you're retarded. And then I said it to Raccoon Eggs, and he said, wow, you're retarded. So I decided, you know what, might as well make a YouTube video out of it. And here we are, Carson Trianglehands. Please leave a like down below if you enjoyed Carson Trianglehands. I'll talk to you boys later. It's been famous YouTuber CallMeCarson, over 50,225 YouTube subscribers. I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye. Oh yeah, and big thank you to River, Serenian, and Bowcamper for helping spawn this cancer. They drew a bunch of the frames. Couldn't have done it without them.